Streets and lawns are underwater. Some areas already measuring over a foot of rain this week. Our first warning weather team tells us how long this might last.
It's good to see them here, but we'd also like to see the problem solved.
And these heavy rains exposing drainage issues in several Central Florida communities. The work to reduce the flooding risk in at least one local neighborhood.
A drug kingpin who was sent to prison in the murder of a police officer and was later let out of prison by former President Trump has committed a new crime right here in Orange County. I'm WESH 2 News investigative reporter Greg Fox. I'll tell you the chances of him getting out of jail.
And we're hearing from a couple suing the Orlando Police Department for raiding the wrong house. Why they say this could happen to anyone.
Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News starts now.
First at 6, a live look here at our radar showing storms lighting up Central Florida, and it is a pattern that we have seen all week and much of the day today. Thank you for joining us. I'm Summer Knowles.
And I'm Stuart Moore. The amount of rain that's fallen in some areas just this week is more than what some tropical systems drop in a few days.
Meteorologist Marquise Mita joins us now. And Marquise, this wet weather is going to stick around for a while.
That has been the case, and it will continue to be the case. All throughout the work week, we've been just watching this stationary boundary meander across Central Florida, and what it's created is a wet weather pattern for us all. Across Daytona Beach, it's just been gray skies all day long as temperatures have cooled from the upper 80s into the upper 70s. We've got ongoing showers and storms and a slight breeze from the north and the west. It's been a variable breeze, but here's the stationary boundary that we've talked about. It's a lot of moisture that remains in place. So day after day, we rain down here in Central Florida. We evaporate the rain and we start the cycle all over again. In fact, over the next 3 days, there will be a flood threat that we're monitoring. But notice today, it's a shade of green all across Central Florida as we've got widespread and scattered showers and storms, mostly to our north and west. That's where we've seen the bulk of the precipitation today. The intensity has died down, but with consistent rain overhead, well, even today, we've already racked up over 5+ inches of rain across De Leon Springs out towards Daytona Beach, 2 to 3 inches currently, and we've got some ongoing showers even along I-75 towards the Villages and Waresdale. Coming in from the west, that's where we see that surge of showers and storms, even across Apopka and Orange County. That's where we see this outflow boundary colliding. Widespread thunderstorms now just north of the metro, in which we could potentially see another 3 to 4 inches of precipitation before the night is said and done. We'll track that coming up, though, in the next 15 minutes.
All right, Marquise, thank you. We have seen some saturated ground from the heavy downpours, and as we mentioned, more rain is in the forecast.
And that is creating some anxiety in neighborhoods, of course, where flooding has already been an issue. We continue our team coverage now with WESH 2's Dave McDaniel, who looks at what some people are dealing with right now. Now, some advice from local leaders. People with areas on their property that are vulnerable to flooding should make sure that they have sandbags or other methods to protect yourself. And when storms strike, our weather team is on top of it. Download our free WESH 2 mobile app and turn on those notifications so that you can be the first to know about any severe weather in your area.
Tonight, we are learning new details about the 14-year-old boy deputies say went on a deadly rampage inside of a Georgia high school yesterday, killing 4 people and injuring 9 others. Today, Colt Gray was formally charged with 4 counts of felony murder, among other charges. We also learned that Gray enrolled at Appalachia High School just 2 weeks earlier, but he left early the first day, and yesterday was his first, quote, real day of class. Investigators say Gray used an AR-style weapon, but they are still looking into how he got his hands on it. Local law enforcement spoke with Gray and his father about reported threats to commit a school shooting made online on a platform Discord last year. Investigators say conflicting evidence prevented them from determining who wrote the post. Now, these tragedies are heartbreaking, which is why local law enforcement does everything that they can to prepare and respond, and more importantly, prevent. We spoke with Volusia County Sheriff Mike Chitwood, who knows many parents and teachers are now on high alert regarding the incident last year with Gray allegedly making threats that has some parents wondering what's being done here to protect our students.
But here's something I can assure parents in Volusia County. Based on what that kid did the previous school year, he would not have been on campus this school year, because the way the school would have handled it is he would now be homeschooled. He wouldn't be allowed back on that property.
Sheriff Chitwood says the response to this type of situation has changed drastically. Before, they'd have to wait for SWAT to enter a building. Now they don't, as the deputy who gets the initial call has to respond.
All right, this man right here was a convicted cop killer and infamous drug kingpin. But former President Donald Trump set him free with the stroke of a pen. Now, this man has committed another violent crime, we're told, this time right here in Central Florida. And as WESH News investigative reporter Greg Fox explains, he could soon be back on the streets. Now, Davidson appealed his domestic violence conviction to the 6th District Court of Appeal, which is now reviewing the case. No hearings have been set yet.
Imagine walking on the beach when suddenly you discover a suspicious package in the surf, and it's a package full of drugs. This happened in Daytona Beach. A Good Samaritan handed this over to police, and it turned out to be 2 pounds of fentanyl. Border Patrol agents say if this happens to you, don't touch it. Just call 911 immediately and wait for law enforcement to handle it. Governor Ron DeSantis wants the supervisor of elections in 4 counties to examine thousands of petition signatures for fraud. The petition in question is the one used to get the abortion amendment on November ballots. The 4 counties involved are Orange, Osceola, Hillsborough, and Palm Beach. Florida's Secretary of State wants to examine roughly 36,000 of the nearly 1 million signatures collected. They were verified by local election supervisors as legit. Governor DeSantis wants the amendment defeated.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
A SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket finally blasted off from our Space Coast this morning after several delays. It happened just after 11:30. The Falcon 9 rocket carried 21 Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit. Boeing's Starliner capsule is now set to undock from the International Space Station tomorrow, but with no one on board. Both astronauts will stay on the ISS due to safety concerns. They will instead return next year on a Crew Dragon capsule that will arrive at the ISS later this month. And right now you're looking at a really big boat called Jacqueline. It's now docked at Port Canaveral. Jacqueline is the name of the platform Blue Origin's booster will land on after it launches similar to SpaceX. The rocket is currently on the pad at Cape Canaveral Space Force Station Complex 36. New Glenn is expected to make its debut no later than next month. And remember, right now local residents can visit Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex for just $19 instead of $75, but it's only certain residents on certain days. Orange and Osceola County residents there can get this deal from September 9th through the 15th. Then Seminole and Volusia County residents can get it from September 16th through the 22nd. These tickets must be purchased at KSC, and you must bring proof of county residence, which could be your driver's license or a utility bill.
Please come and justify to the world what you have done and show us one shred of evidence that made it okay for you to point guns at my daughter's head, much less any of the things that you did.
We are now hearing from the couple suing the Orlando Police Department for raiding their home in 2020 after what they say were false allegations involving child pornography.
And consistent showers continue to pile up here in Volusia County. I'll show you how much rain you've seen so far today and how much is on the way coming up.
Ahead for us, how the use of panic buttons by teachers may have prevented more people from being killed in that Georgia school shooting. And a new federal probe of airline rewards programs. Are they being fair to consumers? On Nightly News.
The couple suing the Orlando Police Department when he says law enforcement had rifles pointed at them and their 1-year-old daughter.
Yeah, the raid is stemming from what they say were false allegations that they were involved in child pornography. As WESH News' Megan Mulatto tells us, they are not only calling for change, but also $10 million in compensation.
All right, let's take you outside right now because in many parts of Central Florida, including what is behind this camera, which is downtown, lightning is irregular and downpours are aplenty.
Yeah, it has been booming outside of the studio. We can hear it all newscast. So when's it going to stop?
Well, to be honest, you're putting me in a tough predicament because I don't think it's going to stop throughout the work week or across the weekend. We'll get some brief periods in which we're dry here in Central Florida, but that stationary boundary that's been the culprit for the rain is going to linger for the next few days. days. For today, it's all across central Florida that we carry the flood threat. Showers are now moving into the metro. That wasn't the case half an hour ago. We were dry here, but you see that things can change at the drop of a dime, which is why we do carry that flood threats all across central Florida. Here's a look at some of the highest rainfall totals we've seen today. It's been Volusia County leading the way. De Leon Springs, 4.72 inches. This is just on your Thursday. Ormond Beach just shy of that 4.61. DeLand shy of 3.5, and Bunnell 3.10. And to put that into perspective, right here inside the metro, we see about 6 inches of rain throughout a given month of September, right? That's over the last 30 years, 6.06 inches. But here's a look at those same cities and the rainfall we've seen since we turned the page over into the month of September. 7.62 inches in De Leon Springs, Ormond Beach, just shy of 5 inches. DeLand, that number jumps up. We've had 3 inches today, 7.9 so far this week, and Bunnell 5 inches so far. Our tower cam across Daytona Beach still shows those consistent gray skies, maybe the occasional lightning strike. Right now, though, it's not the strength of the storms that's going to be impactful. It's how long they stay overhead, and it's been quite a while. We've been looking at these gray skies all day long, and that's what's allowed for the rain showers to pile up. So where we see this wide swath of green on our live radar that indicates lighter rain, these shades of yellow and orange, all the lightning strikes you see in the metro, that's where we have some stronger storms still brewing, indicated by those lightning strikes popping up left and right throughout the screen. We see this outflow boundary actually surging towards the south and the east. A couple collisions are likely to occur within the next hour, so I wouldn't be surprised if we got more rumbles of thunder before 7 o'clock. We do see these showers slowly dissipating. Lighter rain out towards Daytona, New Smyrna Beach. We did mention it's Volusia County leading the way. Looks like our rainfall indicator does show 5.5 inches of precipitation into DeLand so far today. And here's where the stronger storms are continuing to push south across Claremont. If you are in Lake County, you're hearing that rumble of thunder. Apopka, Winter Park, Orlando, right here in the metro. It's that outflow boundary towards the south and the east, increasing your wind speeds, and those could be anywhere between 20 and 30 plus miles per hour currently. Could still see some showers across I-4 to your south in Claremont and Winter Haven as we hit the 7 o'clock hour. Between 7 and 9, we're trying our best to work out the last few of those stronger showers and storms. And then between 9 and 12, just lingering rain pushing towards the east. Eventually past 12 o'clock, clouds will start to dissipate. We actually wake up to a little bit of sunshine out the door early tomorrow morning, but please don't get too comfortable. Thunder showers will return. We do have primary winds actually coming in from the south and the west, so we're tapping into that Gulf Coast moisture, still under the influence of a stationary boundary, but we start off the day between the mid and the upper 70s. Tomorrow, sunshine, as we mentioned, muggy early on to start things up, but we warm up pretty quickly. We'll be back in the low 90s and the upper 80s tomorrow in the afternoon. Weekend planners show similar temperatures, 91 Saturday, 90 on the dot Sunday, but we do have some change happening after we get through the weekend. Still a little bit wet Saturday and Sunday, but after the weekend passes us by, we are trending much cooler with that frontal boundary pulling towards the south. Your temperatures are heading the same direction. Expect to peak in the upper 80s from Monday through next Thursday.
We don't need rain on Friday nights. It's football season. All right, coming up in sports, a superstar on the pitch calls it a career. We will hear from her. Plus, the Gators. Oh, the Gators. They are planning on bouncing back Saturday against Samford, but maybe without their starting quarterback. How Billy Napier says his squad is handling the turmoil. Sports is next.
On the next Access Hollywood, Carrie Underwood's ready for some football. Exclusive access behind the scenes of her kickoff spectacular and her game day rituals.
You know, it is a family affair.
Then Venice, London, now Hollywood. Nicole Kidman on her dazzling week of fashion. Plus,
this whole group is swinging with each other.
Wait, what? The secret lives of Mormon wives. Before you binge, we have them.
Obviously, there's the sex, the lies, the scandal.
Next Access Hollywood.
The WESH 2 Tower Cam Network is sponsored by Headquarter Hyundai. Skip the hassle. Head to the headquarters and find what you're looking for. Headquarter Hyundai off I-4 in Lake Mary. HeadquarterHyundai.com. WESH 2 Sports is sponsored by Mullinax Ford, Florida's largest Ford retailer. For upfront pricing and no dealer fees, shop Mullinax where car buying is simple, easy, fun. Now, WESH 2 Sports, sponsored by Mullinax Ford.
Bouncing back. Hello, everybody. I'm Darren Stoltzfus. There is no better prescription to heal a struggling SEC football team than a date with an FCS squad. Florida gets that Saturday when Samford comes calling, but the Gators could be without their starting quarterback Saturday. And what a career she had. That is it for sports. More news when we come back.
Closed captioning is sponsored by New South Window Solutions.
This Clear the Shelters pup, we are told, is as sweet as her name, Meet Sugar. She's 4 years old and currently with the Orange County Animal Services. Sugar came in as a stray, but she loves people and gets along with other dogs. She is on the smaller side, but the staff describe her as a wiggly and happy pup. They say she's melted a lot of hearts over there. We hope Sugar is melting your heart too. You can find all of her details right now on WESH.com.
Cutie pie.
NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt is coming up next.
And as we head out, I want to leave you with this live look outside of a very stormy Central Florida.